Hi again. In today's tutorial, we're going to have a look at PTE opinion essay. First, let's look at the general information. There are 1 to 2 right essay questions in the PTE test, and you have 20 minutes to complete each essay. Once the time runs out, the screen becomes unresponsive, and you can only click next to move on to the next section. The official word limit is between 200 and 300 words, but there simply isn't time to write close to 300. We recommend 200 to 220. This means you should have some checking time at the end. Here we can see a list of all the areas you need to cover to get a high score. All of this is on our blog, so if you want to have a read through and try this task at home, click on the link below the video. Okay, next we have the sample question. Urbanization has meant that more and more families are raising their children in the city. However, the countryside is a far better environment to bring up children. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? We'll look at analysing the question in another lesson, but here it's clear that we need to compare the arguments. There are always 2 sides to these opinion essays, so we recommend writing a 4-paragraph balanced essay, which includes arguments from both sides. In the planning stage, try to note down at least 2 arguments supporting the countryside. This is where I grew up. And also 2 in favour of the city. Okay, moving on. We have some useful language here for expressing opinions. Pearson mentioned trying to minimize the use of personal words like I, me, or my. Instead of I think or I believe, we should try to state things directly, supported by reasons and examples, as this is better academic style. If you get stuck with this method, you can try some of the phrases. Here we have a list that you can see on our blog. Next, we're going to look at the paragraph structure. A 4-paragraph structure is best. Introduction, body 1, then body paragraph 2, and lastly, the conclusion. It's really important to leave 1 full empty line between each paragraph. Let's have a look at the intro. You can see from the sample here that the intro has 2 parts. Firstly, a general statement. This paraphrases the question, and we also have a thesis statement. Here we briefly state our opinion and what the essay will cover. Right, moving on to body paragraph 1. In this one, we need to talk about our side of the argument, the side that we're going to say is stronger in our conclusion. To start with, you need a topic sentence to state the 2 arguments that you're going to talk about. It's important to mention them in the same order that you're going to fully explain them in later in the paragraph. This all adds to the linking and sequencing that we call coherence and cohesion. After the topic sentence, we need to fully explain each argument using the PES method. Okay, on to body paragraph 2 that you can see here. In this one, we follow exactly the same structure as in body paragraph 1. Topic sentence, first argument PES, second argument PES. The exception here is we're now writing about arguments supporting the opposing side. Here it's going to be points in favour of the countryside. Finally, onto the conclusion. In the conclusion, we need to explain that there are two sides to the debate, but that the arguments for one side outweigh the arguments for the other side. And we can support our claim by repeating paraphrased versions of our Body 1 points. Please try to learn this 4-paragraph structure before you take the test. Okay, next we have developing your argument. And in PTE, it's really important to expand each of your body paragraph arguments and link them together smoothly. The PES method is a great way to do this. First of all, we have present. Here, you state your argument generally with a linker like first of all or in addition. Next, extend. In this part, you go into a lot more detail with explanations, reasons, or results. Finally, support. You really need to back up what you said with relevant examples or some further reasoning to really support your points. Here you can see an example supporting living in the countryside. Click on the blog link below this video to practice developing your own arguments using the PES present, extend, support method. Once you've had a go at that, try typing your own essay. Remember, good tips are important, but you also need to practice to get a high score. See you next time.